All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with none other than this is my first first responder, Mr. Lenny.
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
It's good, man.
Good?
Excited.
Good, man. I'm glad you made it, bro. You finally touched down here in Color Ridge. When was the last time you came here? Like drove in here, like into the neighborhood?
Oh no, well to the hood.
The cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac.
Maybe like a month ago.
A month ago?
But here,
yeah.
Like on the drive here, I was like, damn, when was the last time I went to the crib? It's been a while. That has been a minute.
When you go into Puerto Rico, if you're from here and you want to Puerto Rico Drive, there's this different feeling once you just make that right or left into Puerto Rico Drive.
It's like safer passage or something.
Yeah,
you make it in, it's like, yeah,
you like,
made it.
You go in, it's so cool, man. I mean,
because it's nothing from the outside. Because if you're on what's that?
Anchor,
you
don't know it exists.
You don't.
Like said dead end
For the
facility, to some mysterious facility.
Years,
it's always there when you come in.
When I tell somebody to come here, you guys like, hey, it's the second turn to the right. There's gonna be a second one.
Look, you go all the way, follow the road to the stop sign, and make a right, another right, but you go straight. Like
there's gonna be a troll in the corner.
He lets everybody in. Welcome to Puerto Rico Drive.
From Anchor, and you looks like nothing. You don't even see like there's anything.
It's a hidden gem.
Whatever plant there is there.
It's a hidden gem. It's like a hidden neighborhood.
We're Narnia.
Yeah, bro. It's so cool. We don't have the lion though. We just have a closet, like an empty wardrobe.
You got Bully.
Shout out to Bully. Bully bit Lenny. I think that's our 7th guest that Bully bites. Like straight up bites you. Hey, who would win out of Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson in their prime?
In their prime?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, we're at 10 for 10, dog. We ask everyone that, and they say Mike Tyson. So if we get 20 answers, Mike Tyson, we're going to call Mike Tyson to come sit with us.
Ali was a dancer. Mike was straight to the...
He's a biter and a fighter, of course. It's legit. Listen, let's go into the time machine real quick. Let's go back in the days. For those who don't know, like, if people know where I live at here in Puerto Rico Drive, like, Lenny was my neighbor behind, like in the back.
Still are kind of. My mother still lives there.
Still there, but there's some other strange people there. We're like, oh, who's that? Like, there was a huge dog there once, like Sandlot, one time. Like, there used to be a big dog back there.
A German Shepherd.
Yeah, I used to give him like little food and stuff. Anyways, we used to do the whole literally the whole climb the fence thing. Like, hey, come over, like. And our parents would be like, don't be climbing the fence. You guys look like criminals. We're like, okay. And we had to like walk all the way around.
If it wasn't me, meaning like it's me, I don't think your mom would have allowed anybody else to jump over. Like, she would never have allowed Nelito to do that all his life.
I don't think Nelito can climb that diagonal way. He always used to get stuck.
But, you know.
Yeah. It's so funny when we're...
But that fence did start bowing from so many years.
Yeah, from us climbing it. Like, jeez. We had...
but it would have been so convenient if we would just put the door.
Put a little door there. We were so active when we were young. Like
my dad didn't want it either.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, none of the parents here were like, don't do that shit. That's not what we want. We don't want nobody climbing. We're like, this is like the easiest thing to do.
They were always one get-together away from having beef or something because they would get drink.
It was like Syria and fucking Turkey. Like, the border. Like, it was like that. We'd had, me and Lenny had what is it? 1 through 3? Was it 3 or 2 boxing matches, like championship boxing match tournaments in our backyards, bro?
I think it was 2.
It was 2. We had 2 fights. It was
the third one started,
Rivera
but then you made me.
2.
The third one, we kind of started, but then you made me start boxing Isaac, and then I don't think that was a good idea.
That was the third. That was the third one. The first one was me and you, and then the second one where you knocked my contact out. That was in somebody's backyard. Somebody else. I think it was your backyard. I think round 2 was your backyard. They were both in your backyard.
Yeah,
they were.
Because the that back porch wasn't there.
If I find those tapes, we will find Keith boxing Arnold.
Yes,
Arnold.
Yes.
Shout out to Arnold. I seen him recently though. He came over here. I think he was hanging out with Gio. Looks good.
He comes around the
I've seen him in the last, like, say, I want to say in the last 5 years, though. I saw him one time. He came, he visited, he had a goatee, he has a family, it was cool.
Yeah,
and Janelle.
Janelle has a family, yes.
That's cool.
Shout out to Janelle.
So these people are like around the block kids. We were the kids that played. Like, I don't see that now here. Like, I see them, 2 or 3 guys on a bike, but there's no street hockey. There's no basketball, baseball. Remember the dumb twins? Remember the twins?
Yes.
Everyone has twins in their story, like wherever they grew up at. Remember the twins? Like, we have twins. We have twins in our childhood. I forgot what they're called. Let's call them Mike and Mike. They were also competitive. They played the basketball with us. They played hockey. We used to play baseball.
Football.
We played football. I mean, shit, we even tried tennis out there. Remember? We didn't know what we were doing.
No,
We've played all the sports outside. Now it's like, it's real slow.
so boxing was the biggest
Biggest
event. Or like when we were talking about playing basketball, and I was wearing those special shoes to bring up.
Then he had the weight ankles where he's like, I'm gonna dunk 10 feet. So he bought these like weights that you put on your ankles, and he would like run every day. Or he had like these shoes that had like,
it had that special sole.
Yeah, it's like a sole. You look like you had like
it made my calves bigger, but it really didn't.
You look like the 70s when they go out party. Those like, you know, those shoes. Like, what am I looking for? Platforms. Look like you were wearing platforms.
But it's funny because you know how like my parents were very not conservative, but they were strict.
You can touch the net now. You can. This people know that it worked out. You can touch the net.
Well, yeah, I can't dunk.
You can touch the net.
But I asked them for it. Like I begged them for it. Like, this is gonna help me for my game, kind of thing. They're like, nah, all right. You know,
yeah, they were nice. You know, my dad's the old school joke cliche guy. He would have been like, I'll make you those. And he would have like tied some stuff to my shoes and like, you know, it would have been worse. Like bricks. But you know what? After all that, trying that, we did a lot. We would try sports. We would go all out. We joined some of the teams for the church. We were doing all that activity. We were active.
We played ball out in front of my house for a long time. Like, meaning during the day, like we would be staying out till...
I talk to Edwin once in a while when I see the UFCs and Edwin, and we always bring up the football tournaments against the Mother Church and all that. Like, we would get down. That was some rivalry there, bro. Remember that?
It was fun.
Yeah, man. I had a good time. I loved it. Some of that stuff was memorable. I always talk to some of the guys about it. That's why I'm like, man, those that still hang out and reach out, it's like, man, those are the cool people. The other ones that's still stuck in that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've reached out to some people that we used to kick it with, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's cold, man. It's like, okay. Like, we spent so many years together, and I was like, okay. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy, right? But we
like,
need that. I need that. I need to know that sometimes.
What, for a reminder?
Yeah, just to be like, okay, put a little X on the yearbook. Oh, you're this guy.
It was just a pin.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is. And then after that, we leave all that, like, there's a gap, you know, because you go do your thing. I left. I went to the military, like, but we always were separate. But the beauty of us as family and friends, the way we are, we come back. It's like plugging
like
right
never
in,
left.
bro. Like
you never left.
Left, man.
I told Ralphie that a while back. I don't know. We just started. Because his stepson wants to get into the fire department. So he texts me like out of the blue. I'm like, yeah, bro, come on. I go, hey, give me a call.
Yeah,
we just talked for like a couple hours.
Do you do like little personal interviews? Like, come here and you put some. You light the grass on fire. Like, to put that out. Let's see how good he is. And then you like time him. He's with a cup. Like, you're doing good.
No,
you're doing good. Okay, I'm gonna give you a 10.
But I was talking to Ralphie and I was like, yo, what's up? Whatever. Just caught up for like bullshit conversations, and then I contacted his stepson. And his stepson is like, like he's like, he calls me every once in a while. It's like, hey man, I did this. What do I do? Yeah, man, just keep going. Do what you gotta do.
It's like, hey, I put out a fire today, man. Just want to let you know. I blew my birthday candles out today, like hardcore.
I stepped on someone's cigarette. People
always relate firefighting as in just with fire, but there's more to firefighting than just like fighting a fire. You know, there's the places where they're not on fire. You know what I mean? Like, there's
I think that's where
extractions that you guys do.
They changed to fire rescue now.
Yeah, right? It used to be integrated, or now it's two separate, or is it all one? No,
it's actually integrated now, and it used to be separate. New York still has a separate.
Is there a code between colors? Or is that just like,
you talking about green trucks and red trucks?
Yeah, like there's red trucks in places, there's green trucks in places, there's like, there's only two colors?
Miami-Dade.
In the United States? Is there a fire truck somewhere else where you're like, oh, look, there's a purple one here in Wisconsin? No, right? It's yellow or red. There's no more red.
Green. There's red here. Yeah.
Well, have you seen a red fire truck?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a red fire
Okay,
truck.
so Miami-Dade is green. And they even actually named their color is now Miami-Dade green.
That's like the name of the color.
The
If
name
you
of the
want to get
color
your car painted,
yeah.
like I'd like to get Miami green. It's that fire
Miami-Dade
truck green.
And then there's the city of Miami, which is more of the downtown area. That their trucks is red, and then there's Coral Gables, their trucks are red.
I thought you said they're gonna made of gold.
No,
Their trucks are made of gold.
no, it's just different schemes. But Miami-Dade just went with the Miami-Dade green because of safety issues.
What do you mean?
It's more visible at night.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then like a fucking red truck.
Right. So that's why they went. But fire rescue, fire is very far now than what it is now. Now it's more just rescue because people call 911 for their emergencies, and we'll just leave it as their emergencies because it's. I'm telling you, I've seen from actually just stomping on a piece of trash can to actually finding a full-blown apartment fire, and then also calling for a stubbed toe to,
Like who dropped the ball there? Like someone makes a call and no one says, hold on, I think this is a toe. They're just like, fuck it, send the fire department.
lawyers.
Really?
Because people get sued for, hey, you didn't respond to this, or you didn't take this seriously, you didn't make it on time. So
you have to respond.
Yeah, all that. Like you have to. Our departments usually the time you want to be there is within 4 minutes from there. Someone calls 911, which never really happens because it's hard. Because one, you don't know where that unit is. If they're not in their station, like the one here in Conner Jamal, it'll make it here for less than 4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But if they're on another call and they went on the other side of their territory, and now we call 911, it's not going to take them 4 minutes. And now you include during the day, if there's traffic, and then there's, what happened on that other call they got to pick up, and then they need more equipment. So it's like, oh, we don't have it. Send another truck. And then they come here. And then it's like, oh, well, I just need a Band-Aid.
They block up your whole driveway.
But then, like the other day, I worked the other day, and these guys saved a kid that went into a canal screwing around with some friends, but he didn't know how to swim. They tricked him saying that, it's not deep, it's 15 feet. Well, they got there on time within the 4 minutes, took him out, started the whole CPR, did in the hospital, came out of the hospital a week later.
He had drowned right there, right before they got there. Obviously, he had a little water in his lungs.
Yeah.
What's that called? Are you drowned if that happens? Is that the CPR? Are you drowned?
It's a
you drowned.
Yeah, you drowned.
Wow, bro.
So we're equipped with all that, not just to fight fires.
Yeah, of course. Because then there's the paramedics. When do they get there?
We are.
You're the paramedic. There's no more paramedics. Like,
right.
It's integrated now.
Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, in order to get a job,
/ blah blah blah.
You have to be an EMT.
Blah, blah,
You
blah,
have to be a firefighter.
/ gardener. / what is it? Coffee maker. You gotta be like a professional at the house. Is that like the we think how it is in the movies, like how y'all live in the house and shit, like the firehouse.
In the firehouse.
You know how you see the firehouse movie. You're like, well, I want to live there, bro. That's like some cool ass little place. They play pool upstairs. They got naked pictures. Like,
you talking about Rescue Me?
Walk me to the real.
Okay.
What's it really like?
Well,
is it like I just said?
No, it depends. It depends where you go. Because some people, like a certain station, you can bid the station and be there for as long as your career goes, right? So
yeah.
I was in Station 26 for maybe like 12 years.
And where's that at?
Opelika.
Shout out to
Opelika. Yeah, man. Rick Ross.
So that was your thing for how long? Your station?
12 years.
12 years you would go
so
there.
you make it your home. Yeah, for every...
That's it. It's like your command. It's like being at a command.
Yeah, we
transfer.
Painted it. We made our gym. We put our pictures up. We put
your
TVs.
First kiss with your guys.
Yeah, of course. We
That's
sleep
good,
together,
man. That's a camaraderie thing, man.
So it becomes a fraternity, camaraderie, clique, whatever you want to call it. It's just a bond
gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, it is. It's like that. I was just talking to this about Roxanne's husband, Alex, because we're in the Navy. We're all in the Navy. So it was like 3 guys in here. 3 vets were in one room, and we were like, there's nothing like that, bro.
No.
I mean, the below, if you don't join the military, it's all those stuff we talked about. First responders, police departments. Like, that's the second thing.
So there's firehouses with like a huge, big saltwater tank. They take care of it. There's the station with pool table, foosball.
Saltwater tank?
Saltwater tank.
Is that like the main...
Saltwater fish tank is what
I got that, man. Why did I connect that? Like, damn, fire trucks got salt water now?
No.
Does that put out fires faster, bro? I'm gonna start throwing salt on shit.
No,
you got you inside, like
inside.
exotic fishes and shit.
Yeah, like a decked out house, or a decked out studio, whatever.
And it's co-ed.
Yeah,
nice. It's always been co-ed.
It's always been co-ed, but they get their own bathrooms. Women get their own bathrooms.
Yeah,
I mean, they
Yeah, those things. Those things that breed us. That's so cool, man. Like. And so, like, it's like I'm assuming it's like a watch schedule like us in the military, where you'd be like, you're gonna be here all day from here to here, and then you're off here, and then you come back and you have to sleep. How does that work? Was it 12 on, 12 off, 24?
24 on,
24 on,
and 48 off.
Sweet. That's
every
sweet.
third day.
That's not bad, man.
No,
it's kick ass, and then you have some time off.
It's like the best schedule ever.
I mean, if you really think about it, that's pretty badass. Because you can go through that whole 24 hour like, I haven't done shit. This is my 24-hour shift. Or you can work your 24-hour, every hour.
We have a fire station in Fisher Island.
I did not know.
That's a sweet spot.
Is that like the spot that no one gets unless you've been like in for a long time? Like you just can't get there on your first year, I'm assuming.
High seniority, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go in there. Or they hire you for overtime, or you're covering someone's shift, but you just don't get assigned there.
No, come on.
But it is really nice. That island is beautiful.
Imagine you get property there. You get to live there.
No, well, you're just...
If you have a fire station there?
We have a fire station.
That's like saying when you're there. I'm saying when you're there for 24 hours, that's like your place for 12 years.
It's your resort.
You have a resort in Fisher Island.
You go on your second vacation.
That's crazy, man. And is it like what you're saying? Not that you're going to say something bad, but I'm saying like it has to be like that. Where like when you work at a place where you're like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like a base in the military for us. If you're closer to command, it's like more like and then the farther you are, it's like you can tell like you're so away from administrative stuff. You're just like, bro, it runs itself over there. Versus someone could drop by like to check, like
someone does drop by and check. Or the chief in charge of that station does drop by.
What's he looking for?
Nothing. He just goes, drops off mails. Hey, you guys need anything? Whatever.
It's not like, hey, what are you guys doing here? You guys having a good time?
No.
It's like you have to have a good time.
It's more for the chief to like see you. It's not like just to hear you on the phone. It's like, hey, don't do anything stupid kind of thing.
Yeah.
It does. Like I told you the other day on the phone, it's like almost you turn into in some stations or some trucks, you turn into a parent sometimes. Like, yo, hey man, you can't do that. Maybe, or whatever.
Like to take care of them or the equipment,
right?
Yeah.
More,
them, both.
Yeah, more like it's either safety or wrong decision.
Safety first, man. Safety first.
The wrong prank. Be like, hey, maybe we should do that.
You can't put that fluid there next to that tank. Fucking idiot.
Hey, that guy does not like to touch his toes. Don't do it.
Is there like pyrotechnicians that join the department?
No,
right. That's like something you guys vet. Like this guy likes to put fires.
Well, they do
turn fires on.
You got to go through a psych evaluation.
Right. How'd you pass that?
Way before that got implemented.
Yeah,
but
right.
There is.
You sneaked right in. You're like, oh my god, the next guy had to take the test. Thank God.
I did do one for Coral Gables Fire Department.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't get hired.
What? I'm assuming they're different.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's their own department.
Like we're gonna ask 12 questions versus the other departments only do 5, and you pass because they don't ask the harder questions.
It was actually harder.
Yeah, Coral Gables.
Yeah,
they don't fuck around, man. I mean, everything seems like it's pretty there, right? Like even the cops, everything's different in the Gables.
Well, because they pay.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like
Yeah, well, you pay, you get what your money's worth. Yeah. That's what it is. You get your money's worth. You pay what you get for it, basically. Like. This is how much you're paying the fire department here is going to be outstanding. These motherfuckers don't get paid. They're going to get there late.
There's so much I can say with all that.
Yeah, don't.
But
we were talking the other day about like when you want to make overtime, and I made a joke. Like, I was like, yeah, do you go out and put fires on purpose so they'll call you? But it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? But What do you like overtime for you? How do you get overtime if it's 24-hour shifts? Like you have to run a double or miss a day in between?
No. Okay.
You would never work 48 hours straight. That's like illegal. Do they make you do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not make you.
Not make you. You're like, I'll do it. It's like doing a double.
The only time they make it mandatory is during the hurricanes.
Right. I'm assuming
or
everything
any big
there.
event. Yeah. Because I've been at a station for more than 48 hours at a time.
Right,
because of that, because of a hurricane.
Shout out to that. But I mean, we need you for stuff like that. That's different. I'm saying like,
yeah, I mean, that's
regular
why we
day
sleep
life.
there. We can take a break. Hey, everybody, go take a nap, or it's lights out, whatever.
Yeah.
But to answer the overtime question is okay. I'm on shift 24 hours. I get sick. I have to call out. I'm able to call out.
Right.
So now, because I called out,
someone
someone has to fill the gap.
Right. It's usually someone who wants to.
Right. You sign up for it. They
don't pull you like, damn, I got to do a fucking double because this guy called out. Like, they won't do that to you.
No.
Like, who can do this? Who can do this?
No, you sign up on, now it's everything computer.
Yeah.
Everything's on a program. You sign up and whatever. It's like, oh, this so-and-so is up for the overtime. Call them up. Hey, do you want it?
And if you're like, oh, I want it.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the fire department?
Fire department now, 16 years.
16? Oh, Lord, dog, that's a long time, bro.
Yeah. Well, when you were saying the gap, that was we have like almost a whole life of a gap.
Yeah.
Because, we grew up from, doing Christmases in Spanish Harlem in Nell's house, apartment, remember?
Shout out to Washington Heights.
Oh, it was Washington Heights.
Washington Heights, which is kind of Spanish Harlem. It's the same thing, bro. Like, I don't know where Spanish Harlem starts or ends in Washington. All that shit's the same to me. It's got like two names.
Well, New Yorkers get touchy when you talk about their territory.
Broadway and 34th or something like that. I forgot what street it is.
And then, after high school, then we were going to church. We were hanging out. And then I was going to school. And then you went to the military.
Yeah.
I don't know, what year did you go?
99, February 16th. Hoorah. I remember.
No, I'm just trying to think, okay, what happened in 99 for me? But 99, I was signed up to the fire college, and I was going, and then in the year 2000, I graduated. And
that's when you started, that's right.
And then I was going to EMT school. And
Shit, I've been in the Navy for like 18 years already, or almost 17 years, if I would have stayed in.
So then I started working at Baptist. I got hired with the fire department in 2004.
Shout out to Baptist. You, when I went, I remember right before I go, I had a friend named Hydro. Shout out to Hydro. Became a cop somewhere. And he was like... Georgia cop, right? Georgia
or North Carolina?
Georgia. I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about joining the Marines and all this stuff. And at that time, I hadn't made the choice to the Navy. I was like into church. I was like, look, Hydro, you're in the God's army now, okay? And I'm like, you can't be just leaving like that, like risking your life for a war you don't know, like, fight the battle here between Christianity and Lucifer, all that bullshit. And he's like,
it's great that you remember what you said to this.
Yeah, I remember. And he's like, true. Like, the conversation ended with like, thanks, man, true. Probably saved his life, whatever. It was before Desert Storm. And like 3 months later, I fucking leave to the military. I was like, ah. And next time I saw him, he's like, you're a dick, you told me not to go and you fucking left. I was like, listen, rule number 1, don't ever listen to me. I'll never forget that. And I was like, my mentality was different. Everyone that I've sat here and I always talk about, and I think like a couple of podcasts before I was like, I had to excuse myself because I've been shitting on everything in this podcast, but it's for fun,
Right.
My beliefs are my beliefs. Your beliefs are your beliefs. Like I'm not here to compete. I make a lot of jokes, but some of the jokes, are towards that lifestyle, that the Christianity lifestyle, because that's all I knew, it was kind of silly for me, the stuff we used to do and stuff like that. Like, I remember, let me tell you a story right now, dog. Shout out to Felipe. I'm about to shit on Felipe right now. Like, in the beginning, like, look, I'm not Christian now. Everyone knows that. If you know me, everyone knows, like, he's not a Christian, right? I'm just Christian Gonzalez. That's my name. Like, that's my real name, but I'm not Christian. I don't believe in that. So that's my past. You can talk about it. Like, if I used to be in jail, you could be like, I'm not in jail anymore. I used to be in jail. You can talk about it, but it's not me now. That's how I feel about religion, right?
Okay.
So when I started, I remember I came into the Jesus Christ thing like not knowing Jesus Christ.
Right.
Not like some of my friends that were like grew up and they kind of know. I was more like, what is this shit? These gems. I've never even heard these stories. That's why they captivated me. And then the camaraderie and all that stuff. I mean, that was great. The friendship, you know. Oh my God, my boys.
I think that's what
That's
what sold us.
That works anywhere. You can take out religion. Look, you just said it. You just if you have a gathering and everyone's cool, we're hanging out every day. Like you can believe whatever the fuck you want. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so we're all hanging out. We're Christians. Felipe, me, Alex. I don't know if it was Pete. Or I forgot who it was. You know, the crew. Isaac. And then I was young, like coming into the church thing. I didn't know at the time. I still listened to Dre, even though I went worship. I would worship God on Sunday, and then Monday I'd put in my Tupac Dre tapes.
Right.
It's all good. I didn't connect that whole like, you know, this is not good for the spirit. You're feeding different shit. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, they got me on that. And I started eliminating, throwing away my tapes. Oh my God, I hate Jesus. Like, he made me throw away my tapes, my hip hop tapes. And then we go watch Menace to Society. And I can't wait to watch this movie. They make everyone go watch Menace to Society. Like 5 minutes into this movie. Like
Chris Rock?
No. Menace to Society is the one about O-Dog and like...
Oh, that's right.
I'm saying you think, nigga, what you say? Remember the
right,
ghetto,
right,
the
right,
Jada
right.
Pinkett, them niggas...
Shout out to Jada Pinkett.
Shout out to Jada Pinkett. It was violent as fuck. It was a great movie. You've seen it. I've seen it 100 million
Classic.
times. But when it came out, I was Christian, and I went to the theater, and like 5 minutes...
You felt so guilty.
No, I didn't. 5 minutes into it, Felipe made us all get up. We all walked outside. We're like, what's going on? What happened? He started praying real quick, and he's like, yo, we can't be in here. Can we watch this movie? And you should see my face, bro. I was like, the fuck is he doing? Like, no. Like, I've seen Juice with you. I've seen Boys and Hell. Like, we have to watch this movie. And they're like, no. And it turned into this, like, we got to go. And I went home mad as fuck, bro. I remember praying about it. Like, God, like, if I can't watch these movies, like, upset. And then I waited, like, 2-3 years later, and I went to watch it by myself. But believe it, if you're out there, you remember when you made us walk out of Society?
Oh, my God,
like,
it's awesome.
Isn't that funny, bro? Like, things like that, like, I experience, I love telling that story. It doesn't offend me. It's just classic, man. It's classic,
it's
like...
very classic. But, like, okay. So to...
Jesus was not in there watching me like, you guys watching Men of Society? Like, he wasn't. Doesn't care about Men of Society.
So any Christians watching this podcast, don't worry. God will forgive you.
Yeah, you can watch Men of Society.
Any movie.
But see, that's the problem.
It's a performance.
That's
it's
the
a
problem
performance.
now. I know Christians like Lauren and them. They're hardcore Christians. Like Josh and them. They love God. And they watch all these fucking HBO shows. Like, oh my God, I love True Blood. Like it doesn't matter now. Jesus loves tattoos now. You notice? All
Jesus
the preachers
loves
have
tattooed now?
All the preachers have like fucking full body arm tattoos and like none of that stuff they used to be like, hey, eso del diablo. Like now it's Jesus. Like Jesus embraced it now. Now you can be
that just goes into a very
that means low
deeper,
sales. That's low sales.
Deeper
with the lower standards.
Yeah.
That's
it
what
goes
that
into
means.
a deeper conversation too. Because
No, that's what that means, honestly. Look, Lenny, if you look at the history of religion, there was a lot of stuff we did as Pentecostals that you couldn't do back in the day. But we did it in our church like it was all good.
Right.
So it's 20 years later, you're going to see stuff in your church that you couldn't do that kids are doing now. And then 40 from there, you're going to see...
To answer what you're saying with, now there's...
Evolution.
Pastors, with tattoos and all stuff. You remember what I used to put every time when I would get a new car? And it would be every year because I would get a beat up car and it would just die.
Uh-huh.
And I would put it in the back of the car.
What would you put? Like a sticker?
Yeah, you remember the sticker? Oh, come on.
Put me on the spot.
Don't
do drugs. Don't do drug, kids.
I remember the little beat up Nissan. Then I upgraded to my mom's small little Camry. And then I went to the Honda Accord.
Jeez.
And all those three cars used to have a thing in the back of the.
If you're gonna put a timer, do it now, and then just hit the buzzer. 'Cause I don't remember.
It was a Christian saying that we would say.
Which one? A verse?
Yeah. It wasn't a verse. It wasn't John 3:16.
John 3:16, and then John 3:17 is like, never mind.
Austin 3:16. No, it was born again. Remember?
Born again
with a cross in the middle.
Yeah.
So
it
was that whole vibe, because we bought into it. Now you sold me into it.
Oh yeah, I was like the salesman. I was trying to pitch my quota. Get everybody in here.
Okay,
and didn't give me nothing.
Please, just not.
I didn't get no prize.
Listen, I try to live my life still thinking as a Christian.
Yeah.
But
How do you feel about that? Like, do you still see Jesus as that guy you saw him once? Because I used to paint him in my head like he must be like this, right? And now it's like,
Well, I never
now it's
seen
like a
him.
beam of light. Now it's like, don't try to think of what you're brain. See, it gets all psychological when you get older because you start saying it's not literal, you dummy, and you're like a different believer versus the young believers. Like, don't you feel that now? Even though you might believe like you believe different than a 16-year-old who's going to youth group right now, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Not gullible.
not gullible. That guy's probably painting him with the beard and the long hair, and he's like, "Ah, he looks like me." He's Spanish. Like in our church, I thought Jesus was like un hispano.
Right. Well,
I was like, holy shit! Like, and that would blew my mind. And when I got older, and I was
always
like,
on the same drapes.
like then it became like, then I kind of like admired Jesus a little bit more, not as a believer, but as like a chameleon. Like, this guy's fucking awesome. Look, he goes through all all the countries, and he transforms into their language. Like, he can understand language, which is.
That's why I always thought.
It's kind of crazy.
Okay,
but,
you remember the Tower of Babel?
Ah, remember that. It's a beautiful story. They have
Okay.
this thing called Babbel that you can learn languages now on NPR. You buy these tapes, and it's called
So
Babbel.
I always thought that Jesus did that, even though it seemed like
Kinda crazy.
You're punished now. You'll never know. Everyone has different languages.
Yeah.
But it was like,
But that's silly, though. That's kind of silly to think that that's like a folklore, like, you know, like an old thing. You could probably get something out of it. I don't think like legit there was a huge tower all the way up to heaven, because you just can't
so
build
before
that.
so before the gap, because we labeled our lives that there was a gap.
Yeah.
So before the gap, because of you, and let's give shout out to Christians and
Shout
Jesus.
Shout out to Jesus.
Jesus used you to help me grow up.
He put his hand in my butt, right? And he
Yes.
made me talk. He's like, "Hey, Lenny, you gotta do these
Because
things."
we were playing basketball in front of my house, and then you started saying,
I used
"Hey,
literature. I used
know."
literature on you. I could have used Shakespeare's scriptures, right? Change them to American style, like not talk like
Right.
that, die.
So not to get
if
too
I
deep.
said
Hold
it
on,
right,
hold on.
you would have
So
been
not to get too
impacted.
deep into it, right? So then
Right.
here we are now. We're starting to go to church together. I'm all into it, and whatever. But then I always used to see everything. We still, there was black grabbers involved. There was, watching whatever movies.
The Terminator movies.
Yeah, do whatever we want. We'd have fun, and then
Yeah.
we'd keep it. I don't know. I guess keep it Christian to the most that we could, but then
Right.
we just
without sin.
right. But what I'm saying is that I always looked up to you,
Yeah.
and Mario and Mike and whatever, and it's just like I was like, well, did Chris? Like Chris is doing that. I was like, all right. Oh well, he got in trouble. All right, so I won't do that anymore. I won't do that either.
Like we were
It
in
was like-
front of you. We were in front of you. You were like the kid that gets raised in the hood and has his boys and his older brothers versus he doesn't. He has to become that guy and then teach people. Like, I get it. I've had people like that in my life where the elders
You
helped
just
me,
sparked
man.
another good conversation.
Yeah.
Remember my first date going to the Ridge? We went to the bus, and then that tall crazy white boy tried to get into a fight,
What's
and I
his
stood up
name?
to him.
Yeah.
But I stood up to him thinking, I was like, man, I'm gonna get punched, but here it goes. And he was like, whatever, because then at the same time, then this guy's gonna own me for the rest, for the whole time.
You're gonna fall into that bully syndrome where you're like, he'll pick on me.
But you stood behind me.
I remember.
But you told me
what
that
bus
later.
Stop was that?
Oh,
Right here on Blue Water bus stop.
I
Right here, you
guess.
walk out Puerto Rico and go straight to
I'm
the.
pointing like somebody can
Yeah,
see
right
where
over there.
I'm going.
Look, guys, he's pointing to the North Star.
Whatever that road is that leads up almost 2 blocks down.
I think that if we would have been, look, bro, I honestly believe that who we were to each other and how we grew up, it didn't matter if we had Jesus, Mohammed, or fucking Buddha.
Yeah, what if
It
we
would have went the same. It would have went the
That's what
same.
I'm saying. What if you were like Muslim?
It would have went the same. We just insert that part. We would have been doing that on Thursdays versus Sunday. We wouldn't have went to church that much, to tell you much, because Christians go to church a lot. Muslims don't. Like, for sure, we used to go Tuesdays and Wednesday this,
We
and
would've
then
seen a lot of
Thursday this, and then
sunsets.
Friday that, and then Sunday this. You were like a regular. You became like a career Christian. You were there every day. You would clean the bathrooms. You'd do all the stuff.
I lived
and-
there.
Yeah, you lived there. You were like
No, literally, I lived there.
You were like Eduardo, living in the trailer house.
Yes.
Were you living in a trailer?
I was one of the crew that was living on the trailer because remember they were breaking in a lot, and then Pastor Manny says like, "Hey, we need somebody to help out this and that." Because
You're
I don't
like,
know
I'll
what-
blast a fool. Did you think you were a blast a fool out there? Like, would you blast a fool on church
no.
property?
So when I asked, I was like, okay, what do you want me to do out here?
Protect them with
I asked
prayer.
Pinto. I remember Pinto, right? So I go, Pinto. What?
Shout out to Pinto, bro.
Shout out, Pinto.
Orlando.
What do I do if something happens? And then like, my dad was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Are you gonna Hadouken them niggas
He's
with the
like-
Holy Spirit? Like, Hadouken!
So my thing was like, no, well, look, I work for the church, so I'm just gonna go over there, and then it's like, yeah. So what are you gonna do? Like, he says like, what anybody is gonna do? Just call 911. It's like, yeah, but you won't get to. I was like, why not? I have a cell phone. He's like, he was.
Yeah.
Shout out to my dad. Rest in peace.
That's R.I.P. He was like, it was like, look, it was weird when Eduardo was living there, but then it was like, wasn't. Because it was like, oh, he's like taking care of the church.
Right. It's just someone on the property.
Someone on the property, man,
And that's what I did. I was like, oh man. I was like, oh, what am I getting into? And then sure enough, there's like, all right, man.
But like when you say
911
live
whenever
there,
something happens.
when you say live there, let me just clarify this for people who are
I-
listening. When you live there, you're saying you'd wake up in the morning, right? And your crib was the church. Like where would you go?
The trailer.
Where would you go to the bathroom and dump and take a shit and like shower and all that? Like in the church?
Yeah.
That was your crib. Like
No, well,
you're out there playing basketball by yourself in the little hoop.
Where was I at? No, I wasn't in the hospital. So no, I would go home, eat dinner, whatever, this and that, and then come over here. Go over there.
Wow, bro. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then how long did that go before you're like, fuck this shit?
It was only for like 3 months,
Yeah.
and then somebody else came in. It was a rotation.
Oh, okay.
But then all of a sudden, like I guess they had somebody. I don't remember what happened. I think someone started staying there, and
Like
then
permanently?
Yeah, and then there was no. That's it. Whatever
Yeah.
happens.
Were you at the church when Pastor Lenny came in his Harley and he fucking ate it and he fucking... Do you remember that or no? Do you remember when he ate it on his Harley?
No,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
remember
like,
him.
We were doing this church event. It was like out there during the day, and then here he comes. Down the bottom, like, oh, here comes Pastor Lenny. He had got his Harley. He comes in. Comes in the grass. He's heading towards the church. He has to come into the gate and goes to the church.
Right.
Bro, I guess he didn't
The
anticipate
grass.
the grass, dude. And that shit went, and he, you see him like dive, and his
Oh,
wife
my
goes
God.
up. We're like, ah!
I didn't know that.
We all ran over. We're like, are you all right? That he
I
was
didn't see that.
smart enough to fucking dive off the bike. He, here's our pastor. You're not used to seeing him like this. You're like, this guy's holy, man. And he's like, he dives off. That was Jesus. Like, all right, now you want to be all cool? He put his finger in there and he like flipped him over. Shout out to Christianity, bro. You know what I was gonna say too? That's awesome. Like the Mike Cologne thing. So I'm trying to get Mike over here. Like Mike is essential into our lives also. Even though I don't see him a lot. Like that's old school. That's older school to me. He also came to the church via like. You weren't part of the church. Neither was I. I get there and they're like, "Hey, Lenny, come on. Hey, Mike." Like everyone was being recruited from my circle in Cutler Ridge, and they had their own lives thereafter. I mean, Mike did the whole me thing and everything. Like he was trying to get in there. You know what I'm saying? Into the family and shit.
He was trying to buy his way.
And then shout out to Mike Alone and him and I have talked to about stuff like that because it's our childhood. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, you don't have to believe in stuff, but it's part of our childhood. It's part of our history. We can't go through talking without going around.
You can't go. Yeah.
Come on, there was some cool parts, man.
For me, it was a lot of
people there.
I think the majority was cool parts until the end.
The only thing I regret, and I'm gonna tell you now because I don't believe in it, is going ham. Going ham into it, where I was like, man, I shouldn't have threw all those tapes away. I could have kept listening to Wu-Tang. I missed a couple of Wu-Tang albums because of that shit, Where I'm like, I've never heard this album. Like, yeah, that was the time where you thought the devil was making Wu-Tang Clan music. Like, that's the only part. Because now I see people who love Christ, and they're doing both. And they're not guilty. They're not.
Who says they're not guilty?
What do you mean?
Who
They're having a
says
great time.
Who says
All the
that?
pictures are on Instagram. They're at concerts. Like,
But
they're
who
having a great
says-
time. Why
Yeah.
yeah. They're not at home crying, repenting. Like,
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say, like, yeah, you can do it without that. You can. My thing is, you can do that lifestyle, which love your God.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, you can still love your God.
Because we did that. We still
I was
did
doing
that.
it, but hiding. If I knew what I knew now, I'd probably enjoy it more. But the guilt thing is, I feel you don't need that, man. That is horrible to feel. Imagine you go home every day and you think you're shitty. Like, you're being taught that you're shitty for thinking that. Like, what?
Because
I thought he loved me.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
differentiated from a very early point, and I thought I did. I learned it from you. Is that you can't take things way so hard, like you're saying, going ham.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, well, but okay, I'm listening to Wu-Tang, right?
yeah, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it because you're enjoying a performance.
You were just guilty if you said,
Is the
fuck.
message behind it good? Well, it's the story that they're telling.
Beautiful. Wu-Tang's for the children.
It's the story that they tell you in the way they say it. And you either say, "Oh, I like it," or not, or it's like,
You know
hey,
who
that's a
used to
good
not get it? You know what my problem was? It was like, I learned it with
But you can't say
Julie
that's like,
Pascual. Shout out to Julie Pascual. She taught me this. We were going on a bus trip somewhere, retreat, canoe trip. It's going to be like 3-hour drive. And I'm like, hey, I made this tape. There's a couple cool songs. There's no cursing. It's got some Jerry Rivera songs. And she didn't allow me to play Jerry Rivera because something, del diablo, something leads you to have sex. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't get that because my everyday life is listening to Jerry Rivera. Walking around on Earth is like listening.
no relation.
No relation to Rivera here. It's the same thing. I never understood how they didn't understand that listening to music or watching movies is just like me walking down my hallway in high school. There is so much shit I could easily think bad of, but I choose not to. Can I watch this movie and just be like...
Because we look like sheeps, and sheeps are dumb.
Shout out to sheeps, man. They're not dumb. They help you fall asleep, first of all, when you count them. And endless amounts of sheep come to your aid when you have to go to sleep. You understand?
Yes.
What about wool? Like, did you ever wear wool in your life? Like, shout out to sheeps. Like, they're not dumb. They're being taken advantage of. You know what I mean? By the shepherd. You know what I'm saying? Just leading them straight.
Right.
That's what the problem is.
But we grew up with common sense, like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this movie to menace to society," and then you know what?
That's why we're here right
I'm
now.
gonna go rob a gas station.
Yeah, I watch Men in Society and I want to go. Like, this is why we're here right now. This is why you and I are here right now, that we can talk about, our religion, our past, whatever, and it's all good. You're not a fucking nun or some kind of priest where you went all the way where you can't even, hey, I can't even be in here talking. Like, you know what I'm saying. There were conversations I used to have with people where it was like, it's a little too much. And it's not just Christianity. You can go all around the world and people are like that with other beliefs. Even
you
like,
know that I'm still cautious. Like, oh, should I do?
What do you do when they knock on your door? When Jehovah's Witnesses are at your door? Like, do you brush them off like, this fucking idiots? Or do you sit there and be like, nice, Jesus stuff? What do you do? You personally. Tell
Me
the truth.
personally,
Yeah.
I have done both. Not
Get the fuck out of here! Like,
ignore the call.
what are you talking about, bro? Like,
And then, or I open up the doors like, listen, no, thank you. I'm not interested, and have a good day.
let me give you a story. I'm parking the car yesterday at over there at Sunset Place. My girlfriend's doing some kind of dancing thing. I gotta go move the cars, put the meter, and I'm paying at the thing. And I see them coming. It's awesome the way they do evangelism now. Like, they have like little vests and stuff. And they announce. You can see them coming. You're like, who's this weirdo? No, it's a church guy. You can see them coming already. And then there are the guys with the white men in black without their suit. Hey, what's going on there, brother? And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I'm putting out my money, and he's talking to me, and he's like, businessman, salesman all day, because he's approaching, talking. Look how slick. You can tell someone's like, Mama, let's go out and recruit, and you don't know what to say. You're at Winn-Dixie like, hey, do you believe in Jesus? That's a different animal than the guy goes, hey, what's going on? Nice watch there, guy. And he's approaching me on some like salesman already. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I'm trying to remember my parking space, and he's talking to me. Which I didn't want to be rude, like, guy, can you shut up? Like, I'm trying to think. He's like, how's everything going today, man? I'm like, everything's fine. I'm thinking it starts raining. I'm like, oh, it's going to start raining. Got to get out of here. And he's like, well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, what do you got going? You're going to a show? That's awesome, man. That's a cool tattoos, man. And he's like going in on me. And I'm like, how can I help you, man? How can I help you? Right? Direct. What's up? What can I help you? Give me your card. He goes, oh, yeah. He's like, here, man. He gives me the card, the Jesus card. It's like a card, beautiful laminated card, the famous, what's up, Jesus picture. And he goes into his, like, thing. And I'm like, look, man, I don't mean to cut you off. I go, I really have to go. Is all your info here? He's like, yeah, all the info's there. I'm like, all right, perfect, man. I shake this hand. I forcefully shake this hand. I'm like, thank you guys. Thank you for what you guys are doing. And I'm walking away, and he's still talking to me, bro. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, that guy, he loves that. It could be anything. It could be like, hey, I need you to go out there and sell these hoes. Like, all right. That guy belongs doing that. It's not Jesus making him
Remember,
do that.
I don't know if I don't know because you never went
Damn
out.
it, man! It's not Jesus. Go ahead.
You weren't there when we started going over the neighborhoods and started.
You went with me to Winn-Dixie over there by Southbridge. Almost got shot trying to evangelize. No, not that. What are you talking about?
When this was in Homestead, and we were like by the. We did used to go to a correctional facility.
I did stand up there. Remember, I did a stand up in front of all the jail people. They're like, "We got to be Christian here." I go, "I'm not gonna sing in front of inmates or do like a dance." They're like,
but it happened.
I went out and did comedy. It was awesome. Clean, Sinbad comedy. You know, Christian comedy. I don't know how you can do Christian comedy, but I did it.
Redeem performed.
Redeem. Shout out to
Redeem.
Let's name the members. Ready?
Okay, Mike, Camilo,
Hydro.
What, Zeus?
And Alan.
Alan did only. He was like a feature. Like
Alan was like tenor.
Alan.
Like you can't do harmony without Alan.
Then I was part of the group because I did one performance, right?
Did you? You were like a group member for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was like for a talent show.
Shout out to all the sound guys at church. You could tell they're just like, I get away with murder. I don't have to read none of this shit. I'm just in the back like, yeah, hold on, don't bother me. And doing the sounds and the mic. Like, you go to church every day, yeah, just to do audio. You're like, I can't be reading along. And you're excused. I'm guilty of falling asleep in service, dog. Like I'm praying. I'm going to pray real quick.
I did too.
Fall asleep.
I did too in the sound booth.
It was hard. I went out at night secretly, and then I had to go to church on Sunday to repent. It was hard. It was a hard career, bro. I had to give one up. I'm like, which one am I gonna give up? I'm like, well, I'm not giving up drinking and fucking around. Like, you know what happened? At the end, I'll tell you what happened. I was getting too personal with it, like involved with people in church, with girls, stuff like that, and I started getting heartbroken and like fighting with people that I associated them with that, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck all of y'all, and then I gave them that. It was never like. I never looked at it like, this is mine also. I was more like, this is all y'all. And it helped me be like, I'm out of here. And then I saw other people like, when I started going, the number one cardinal rule of churches, you don't hop around churches. You know, you don't hop around people's beds.
Yes.
And now it's like the thing to do. Like, you're at your third church. Like, I'm on season 3. Like,
I ran into Guido. Shout out to Guido.
Shout out to Guido, bro.
Gabriel just got married.
You're not on watch right now, right? In case there's like fires happening right now. Like, you're good right now. You're Gucci with me right now, right?
Very good.
That's
okay.
What I'm talking about.
Oh, we have to sidebar to that because you text me that you Gucci for the 21st.
What? Go right now. Tell me what happened.
So I'm working in Liberty City. I'm on duty, right? And my crew is like completely green. Like they're like have 2 or 3 years on, and it's a busy truck, and so they're not from. They didn't grow up in the hood. Okay, so let's just put it that. And we're in hood, and we'll go to a shootout, drive by, and a guy we did have someone that had got shot. Took care of that person.
Just to correct, you went to a place where there was a drive-by. You didn't go drive-by and shoot someone.
No. Right. Remember, we're fire rescue, so
you're responding to a drive-by.
Right.
Incident.
They called 911 and
gotcha.
Like multiple shots. We got multiple victims. That was like the dispatch on the radio. Okay, we get there. We attended to the guy. One of the guys that did get shot. They were in the hospital. Then there was another guy there, and he's probably like the local bum or whatever, or like goes from like Nelito goes from house to house.
Nelito's a local bum. Shout out to Nelito, the local bum.
I meant that with love, Nelito. So I go, hey, we got to check this guy out. So they're like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, did you any wounds or anything? I was like, it was a shootout, so we have to make sure. So you got to lift up his shirt. So the guy's like, you ain't touching me, sir. We have to check you out. We can make sure. All right, okay. So because he's already liquored up, so he's kind of like abrasive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I'm writing reports. I come back, and then the guy's like, the guy that I left my guys with this one guy that he's like, let him check you out, and he's like, he's yelling at them. He's like, and I'm like, go up to him. It's like, everything okay? I'm trying to tell him is I'm Gucci. That's all I need to know. Am I Gucci or not? And those two guys were like, bags. We got the EKG machine here and a bag here. And they're looking at
them in language,
right? And they're like, "Sir, we don't know. Like, did you drop it? Did you?" Like,
I'm Gucci.
He's like, I go, dude. He's asking you if he's okay. Like, you wearing a Gucci? You good?
You good? You Gucci?
Hey.
I texted him the other day. I go. Like, I wanted to confirm, everything okay? You're going to come? I go, hey, Gucci? Like, 10 o'clock, Gucci? Like, everybody knows that means you good with that? You good? You Gucci?
From the hood.
From the hood.
From the hood. So they're like...
They're saying that to them. They're like, what's going on?
They, like, put their heads down. I was like, sir, you Gucci, man.
You
go
Gucci.
Ahead, go. You good to go. I was like, all right. Bet. Y'all, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all what you do. Appreciate what you do. Like, that's all you had to say to him. You just asked him if he's good.
Isn't that crazy how that exists? And you could be a professional. You're like, I didn't know. I didn't study hip hop. How do I know that?
Well, that's what they said. It was like, that was their whole thing. It's like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'll tell you.
It's like if someone, most people are young. Like you get a nice 14-year-old or whatever. He's in the hood. He knows a lot about the stuff. But you say something like, yeah, everything's copacetic. He'll look at you like, what? Copenhagen? What'd you say?
What?
Like, no, everything's good.
Dude,
and that's the same thing. You're using different words to
same
confuse.
scenario. I've been on calls where people call 911 in the hood, and they try to come up with words like Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Or copacetic. And they're like, they get offended. Like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. You gonna take me to the hospital or not? Am I gonna die? You bringing on big words. I don't know what you're saying. And then we're like, hey, okay, sir, no, listen, come down. We're trying to.
That's good. That's a good voice you did, man. Like, you study that. You're like, hey, this.
No, that's just years.
That's the common voice for everything. Like,
dude,
every patient does that voice for you in your head. You're like, this is how all patients sound to me. Hey, man, you gonna take me to the hospital?
I can give you a whole scenario, and it's something that I experienced. Not even that I wrote it down or thought about, and you're gonna think like, how? But you
what's the craziest shit you've seen? Like,
man, dude.
Like, I mean, like,
it's
something
been
that's
crazy.
like, whoa, bro. Because I mean, if you say, I saw a guy get run over, like, all right, big fucking deal. Like, I've seen a guy get run over. Like, what's crazy? What have you seen that's kind of like, I bet you haven't seen this shit. I have one.
I mean,
don't say your friends all butt naked in the bathroom and shit, like a prank. Not prank shit. I'm saying like some horrible stuff you've seen. Like let's say a guy's body's over there and the half of it's in a radiator or something. Like, have you seen some crazy shit like that?
Yeah.
Eesh.
Really? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Guy hung himself with something sticking out of his asshole.
What? I just pictured that in my head. Like, I just mentally pictured that.
Yeah, like,
that's crazy.
Hung from
like his butthole?
No. He hung himself, but there was something sticking out of his asshole.
Oh, he was trying to please himself and he killed himself on accident, you think?
You think he was trying to please himself?
Yeah, like that choking sex thing. You know what that is, right? The guys that like are jerking off or maybe put something in their butt and they try.
It was a very traumatic scene.
It was a
very traumatic scene. I'm trying to tell you, it was a very traumatic scene.
Listen, have you seen that Robin Williams movie where, like, I
you
think
forgot to put away the dishes.
Yeah, it's the people I have working out there, construction. There's a movie like that where the kid or somebody like died doing that. Like they were. This is real. People do this all the time. They choke themselves while they're jerking off, and right before they're jerking off, they're losing the air in their brain. When they're choking.
Are you talking about an actual actor?
No, I'm talking about in the movie. Robin Williams did this, or somebody died like doing that in the movie, and it was like out. Like they were trying to hide that because he was such a good person. I think I might be fucking up this whole movie, but my point was that. Do you think that guy was doing that? That he was encountering some kind of sexual? Like, who kills himself to put something up their butt?
No, I think he got involved with the wrong people.
Ah, you're talking about murder now.
Yeah.
So he didn't hang himself. They hung him. Nice. And you saw that, you saw it and you're like, Tuesday.
Well, I mean.
what's for lunch there, Tim? Are you that guy now? Where you're out there like, Jesus Christ, look at his dick, it's all shattered. You want to go get a hot dog or what? Like, do you do that whole food thing right when you're like watching nasty shit? Just because you're hungry.
No.
Just a job to you.
No, not the food thing. Because some people get offended.
I still get like that. Like, even working for a hospital, like I could be eating spaghetti and I see some shattered like shin bone and all the guts coming out and all the tissue's ripped up, it looks like my spaghetti, I'll be like, okay, I'm done. Like, I connect it. I talked about this on the podcast. Like, I can't eat fudge and talk about shit. Like, I'm eating fudge.
I had to fishbowl. I had to, you know how like you bob for apples? I had to bob for an embryo.
What? Wait. Like at a carnival, they had little embryos in a bucket. You were bobbing for them. Like
somebody miscarried on the toilet.
Oh no! Why didn't you just flush it?
I don't know.
You can't do that, right? It's illegal.
I guess it's inhumane.
Yeah, it is, man. You can't do that. You can't flush a fetus down the toilet, like purposely. Maybe on accident, but not purposely.
Yeah. So
you reach in there, you get it, and then like you put it in a bag, like in the movies.
Yeah.
Then you mark it. And then
we don't mark it. We just I don't know. Give it back to the family, but
wow, man,
can't leave it in there.
And you're okay with all that, right? Like, I mean, you're built for that shit. None of that affects you. You don't go home and like.
Well, I was meant for it. I could tell you that.
Yeah, you would have quit after 16 years, right?
But
you would have quit.
But you would be, or you two. Do you think that I would be that person when you first met me? Would you say that I was that person back then?
What, the guy that won't throw up if he sees somebody hung and there's something coming out his butt?
To do that type of...
No, man. I mean, I didn't think you were going to be a firefighter. You defying all odds. Somebody was telling me that you weren't going to make it or some shit like that. I'm trying to remember who the hater was.
I don't know.
But you beat all of that stuff. You've done more than probably somebody was thinking. Let me tell you, I didn't think you'd be here. I mean, shit, I'm shocked that you said 16 right now, man.
Well, because... And I said I was meant for it because I always wanted to help people.
Yeah,
and then
you've always been kind. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, is that what you tried to say earlier? Okay, let me give you the real answer. You've always been a person that someone could rely on since day one. I don't think someone could ever been like, fucking Lenny, man. Since day one, you were reliable as fuck. Since day one. Now, I thought you were talking about firefighting. Like, there's no way I could have.
In the hood, you say loyal to my number ones.
Yeah,
from my day ones.
All day. Look, you showed up. I made one. I haven't talked to you. When was the last time I talked to you? When was the last time I talked to you, bro?
A couple of years ago.
Years. I think I saw you. No, I saw you.
It was this year for some UFC fight that we didn't.
That's right. And I'm like, hey man, I'm doing a podcast. You're like, yeah, I see you there. Like, all right, you ready? Like, how long did that take? Like, 3 days. You're already here. So there's no question about loyalty. There's no question. So here's the evidence.
Right. So I always say that I was meant, but I evolved into it, and I'm still evolving. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's why you embraced it.
Yeah.
You embraced Christianity hard because it fits your character, man. You have to save the fucking world.
Going back to that, it's like when you took me in, that put me into the next level to getting ready to what I do now.
Yeah, it sharpened you up a little bit.
Because then, like, I've had to tell people, because we've gone on not the nastiest thing, but it's more of a humanitarian thing. We go on a little abuelita that fell on the ground, but she shit herself. So she's laying on the floor because she shit herself, but she needs help to get up. So the guy that I was with, and I was before I was an officer, I was just a firefighter. So it's like, all right, we got to clean you up. I start taking off her clothes. I start cleaning her, wiping her ass, this and that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I was like, the guy that I'm with, he's just standing there. I was like, yo,
what are you doing?
You gonna help me or what? It's like, why are you doing that? Like, because she fell and shit herself. Like, did I really have to say that to you?
Yeah.
And
not my job looking shit?
No, it's more of a like,
it's not in our job description. Like, what are you doing?
I didn't know we were really here for that.
Wow.
Right. So it's like one of those, now as an officer, I make sure that the people that I'm with, is like, hey man, we're here to help people. You know, like, in whatever way. Now, don't think that I'm gonna be like, I'll clip your toenails because
you're not a sucker. You're not a sucker.
But that's
you're that guy. Look, the reason why I haven't called you if I've ever in trouble is because I haven't gotten in trouble. But I would call you. You'd be that guy that I'm sure would come that day if I call him. That's why I don't call you, because you don't take advantage of people like that. But you know them. Like, you know them. I know that. I know that from a long time ago. You know, you've always been like 100% like good dude all day. All day. There's no one I know that could talk shit about you, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you smash somebody's girl. But that's different. You know what I'm saying?
That's on another podcast.
That's another like let's say you do something, but your general character, like how you are naturally, come on, man. Since day one, you've always been like.
That's my mom, Olga.
100.
Shout out to Olga.
Shout out to Olga, man. Like it's like that. Our parents taught us that and instilled that in us. You know what I mean? You went ham with it. I feel that's why you were really good at the Christianity, but you probably were like, this is not it. I gotta save some other way because this magic saving is not helping me. I'm not saving lives here. You went physical now. Now you physically save lives versus praying over them and saving their souls. Like you're really physically saving lives.
So that's
a better trade off.
Yeah. Well, yes.
In my opinion, it's a better trade off. I can see the fruits.
Well, if we were still on the boat of, hey, we're still Christians kind of thing, then it's like Jesus took me to this way. One guy goes and knocks on your door and gives you a pamphlet, it's like, hey, Jesus saves. Then the other guy goes actually when there's trouble.
He's the physical guy.
I'm the physical guy.
Right.
And I've always been a physical. I've always been a physical guy.
Yeah, man.
I have to
touch
it to learn it.
Even if it offends people, like some of the glory is yours. Like I would have to thank you, not Jesus, for what you did because Jesus ain't out there putting in work. You're the one doing it. You're the one getting up. You're the one dealing with crusty eye boogers and you got to get up and you're tired. Like it's always been you. It's always you. The person does all that shit.
If you're gonna ask me what's the cause that I don't like going, is kids. Well, the ones that die.
Going where?
When they die.
Oh, what about them? Oh, you like say when you go to a scene, you see a dead kid. Like,
yeah, those are the worst.
I mean,
for me,
must be horrible, bro. That must be horrible. That affects anybody. You see a kid get hit by a car is worse than some idiot. Some guy gets hit by a car, you're like, look at this idiot. You call him an idiot, but if it's a kid, he's being an idiot. You feel bad.
Yeah, because the worst part is how do you console? How does a total stranger console?
For me, it's like
the parents.
For me, it's not so much the pain. It's more like he probably wanted to do shit in his life. The cut short life is what hurts me more than when someone young dies. Not that you're gonna affect someone die because they might not even have family. No one's gonna cry. It's just that it's too short. That's my opinion. Shout out to Shoe Short in Oakland. Listen, I've had a great podcast, but we gotta put the kids to bed and pay bills and shit. So,
all right.
like, I love you, man. You have to come back. You have to do like part 2 once I get to my higher episodes, and we'll get into some more shit other than the surface stuff we hit right now, just to kind of let people know, you know, what Len the Hen is doing here. You have so many names. Like,
oh yeah, I do.
I love it, man.
I've acquired more.
What you do,
Leonard.
Listen, what you do, man, is fucking awesome. Okay, what you do for our family, for people that we know, is awesome. That we can say we know a firefighter, we know a first responder, but then the world itself also looks at first responders in that view. It's not just biased, like the family. I didn't make up how the world feels about firefighters, police people, and rescue people. I don't make that up. Yeah, that shit's a general thing. Like,
but I don't do it for that, and I would say 75% of the people that work for the fire department don't do it for that either.
No,
and I never wanted it for that either. It's like, all right, you go to the mechanic. The guy that loves to work on cars becomes a mechanic. He's a mechanic.
Right, you're benefiting from his love. That's what we're doing. We're benefiting from your love, which is you love to help people.
I love what I do.
That's awesome, bro. Listen, man, I love you, man. Thank you for coming by. I promise if it takes long, I'll set the fucking grass outside on fire just to get you over here, man. I promise I will, man.
Bro, shout out to you and Manny. This is awesome. Yeah, because man. I can't wait till, you know, you're going to have like, you know, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson here doing
that. Yeah, I want to have Mike Tyson. That's why I made you answer that question. Tyson. You know what I mean? But like I said, Denny, what I wanted to do is have a one-on-one with everyone. This is my form of like, I'm not going to text you. I'm going to have you on my show and we'll talk. Instead of like, hey, how you doing? Good, all right. Let me know when you want to hang out. Fuck that. We just hung out for an hour. And you just told me that Menace to Society was a good movie and that you wouldn't have walked out. I'm just kidding. No, but listen, I love you, man. I appreciate you coming by. Like, let's do it again, man.
For sure.
Keep doing what you're doing, bro. All right?
Love you.
Love you, bro. That's it, guys. We're out of here. Stay lit and stay away from forest fires.